there and welcome to the Drax Files Radio Hour with Joe Yardley. My name is Draxter Dupre and I'm 10 years old. Well, in Second Life anyway. So you've been to my Res Day party or not? Well, thank you for all the overwhelming wishes. It's been absolutely fantastic to see how many people appreciate what we do with the videos and with the podcast. So today, Joe is kind of, I think she got really hammered. She's still sleeping. So this show, again, I'm doing alone, and I'm also a little hungover by this Res Day party, and then wishing Marianne McCann also happy Res Day. So today is a short show, and it is actually kind of a pledge fundraiser show. Don't worry, it's not about me or the podcast or begging for money for the Drax estate. I guess here I should play an excerpt from James Bond Moonraker.
The Drax residence. Every stone brought from France. Cute, isn't it?
Magnificent. Why didn't he buy the Eiffel Tower as well?
He did, but the French government refused him an export permit.
Yeah, the Drax estate is not as fancy as in this movie. Let's focus here because the name of the show suggests this is about feeding a smile. If you have no idea what that means, my guest today, Brig Topaz in Second Life, will tell you what it is. Hi, Brig. How are you doing?
Hi, Drax. I'm doing great.
You are very successful in using Second Life to raise funds for a real-life cause. And what is really hilarious, and we're going to put this on the blog, because a few days ago, somebody posted on YouTube my video episode 16, where I profiled your work, that, she is collecting money for virtual kids. Why doesn't she do something in real life? So let's not get ahead of ourselves. What you're basically doing, I'm going to summarize this briefly. You're using the fact that musicians can have virtual concerts, and these musicians that you put together in festivals and other your main venue, they play basically for free, but the audience tips those musicians, and all those funds, they go to feed children in Kenya. Very often these are orphans because their parents passed away through the AIDS epidemic that is rampant there. Now you're building a school. This is all through the almighty Linden Dollar. And what is going on right now, and we're going to remind people, is the food fair organized by Matt P., which also benefits your cause. But now, be a little bit more specific than I just did. So how does this work? Explain this to my grandmother. How is it possible? Or no, explain it actually to the YouTube commenter, like, well, she's wasting her life in a game, and what is she doing? Why does she do something for real kids?
Okay, Drax. Well, first of all, the real kids are 450 children in Nakuru, Kenya, and also in other parts of Kenya. And these children are not only very real, their poverty is also extremely real. And what we do at Live and Learn in Kenya, the actual real-life organization.
Let's be a little bit more, you can be more specific about the poverty, because sometimes, we live in such a crazy world where people, sometimes you have fifth graders in Germany or the US that complain about that they don't have an iPhone 7. What is the level of poverty there in Nakuru?
The level of poverty in Nakuru, or more specifically the children that we are helping, is, for example, you go into a shed that you would not even let your dog go into, and these people are living there. There's sometimes 10, 12 people living in one little dirt floor room with a hole in the wall for a window, and old rags on the floor to sleep on. This is the degree of poverty that we're talking about.
I wouldn't let my dog go in there because it's too dirty.
It's too dirty. It's flea infested and dark, and you wouldn't want to have to go in there to take your dog out. Put it that way. It's very, very, very sad. And I see the only possible way of breaking this this circle of poverty is to send the children to school so that they'll be able to be all that they can be. And they are doing so. We have no longer children, youths going to universities now, to colleges, to vocational training, and of course to regular elementary school, kindergarten, and high schools. It's amazing what these children are able to do coming from this extreme poverty.
So there's three things you're putting on concerts in Second Life where people donate Linden dollars. This goes to just the necessities of daily food. 100 Linden dollars pays for one meal, or what is that ratio? And then the second thing, people can also kind of not adopt, but sponsor a child. And while you're explaining these questions of mine, listeners, dear listeners, you can multitask, because you can right away check on the blog the link to Mad Peace International Food Fair, which benefits this cause. It goes till March 4th, and you can go to the slurl that is in the blog right now. These are exclusive. I know, we all know you're a shopaholic, so go in there. There's exclusive items, gotchas, everything in between, all designers giving 50% of their earnings to Feed a Smile. But back to my question, you are providing food, you're providing, I guess, also school uniforms, and also the sponsorship of a child that you then really help along until they're grown up.
Yes. Well, Live and Learn in Kenya pays for everything that the child needs to go to school, whether it be school fees or uniforms, the mandatory uniforms in Kenya, medical care, dental care, everything that the child needs to be able to go to school and not worry about life. We pay for a meal, a warm meal every day for all of the children on our program. And we pay for 2 meals a day for the children that are going to our own school at the Live and Learn in Kenya Education Center. These children receive breakfast, which is something that is abnormal in most families in the slums in Kenya. A cup of tea is the usual breakfast. Now, it is, of course, difficult to be able to feed 450 children on a daily basis, 6 days a week. And Feed a Smile in Second Life is an enormous help to us. Over the past 7 years that Feed a Smile has existed in Second Life, we are able to feed children on a daily basis, and this is what's really important. And not only do the donors know, but the musicians are happy, and they even tell me that they're honored to be able to do this, because they know this money is going directly to Kenya to help these children.
And again, the goal for the Mad P food fair that we're sort of doing a fundraiser show today for is to specifically build a kitchen within that complex that you're building. I mean, you can be more specific. Right now, I'm looking at the real-time counter as we're taping this show. It's $1,890,142 Linden dollars, and you can check on our blog as the link to the real-time counter. Now, how much if I donate 100 Linden dollars for at a concert? How far does that go in terms of meals? And if I decide to sponsor a child, how much does that set me back in Linden dollars or US dollars?
Well, if you want to sponsor a child, then it will cost you 7,500 Linden dollars per month, or 90,000 per year. That is $30 US dollars per month.
Okay, let me stop you right there. This is really amazing. Folks, listen, okay? And I know you guys. I know my 5 listeners because I call them every day. But please listen so that we don't drop to 4 on the iTunes on iTunes statistics. Fact of the matter is 7,500 Linden dollars people buy, people spend that sometimes on Second Life shoes in a day. Let's be honest here. So you can help a child and you commit for a year through your organization, or how does that work?
No, actually, you're committing for the entire time that the child is going to school.
Uh-huh.
But committing in a very philosophical way. There's no such thing as a contract or anything like that. You're just saying, yes, I will. And if by chance there's a reason that you can't do it any longer, then that's also acceptable. And for people who don't want to take that responsibility, because it is a responsibility, then there's always the possibility of just donating so that the children who are not sponsored yet have the possibilities of going to school and not worrying about it.
Okay, here comes the question of a left-wing communist like myself. Why doesn't the government in Kenya pay for all this stuff? Why do I have to pay for it?
Well,
I mean, I don't have to, but why? What is give us a broad sketch of the situation of that state?
Well, when I first began this organization, when I founded this organization 16 years ago, the situation in Kenya was extremely corrupt, very openly extremely corrupt. I went to schools where there were actually 200 first graders in one classroom. And I'm talking about a classroom with a dirt floor and bigger holes for windows, but holes for windows, no electricity. And the children were sitting on the floor or kneeling on the floor. And there was one teacher, 10 books per subject per class. So the situation has gotten better over the past 16 years. The corruption is no longer open, put it that way. But you have to understand when you have a government that really needs to have hold on its people, then they keep them in the dark as much as possible, or they keep them under a blanket of lies as much as possible. So I, for example, am teaching a literacy class once a year when I'm there, and I'm teaching the mamas and the papas and the grandparents how to write their names. So we're talking about people who must go to an office, for example, and sign their name, and they sign it with a fingerprint or an X. These are people who do not have the self-confidence to be able to talk to government officials or police. And this is the change that we're making now. We're making the change that we're giving these people, these children who are growing up into stronger and, I hope, better people who will not accept corruption and will not accept to be corrupt.
As you're saying, the adults, when you're that illiterate, you lack the confidence to even kind of, theoretically entertain the idea that there's something that you could change, right? I mean, you're just sort of given up. You're given into your particular situation there in the slum and trying to just survive on a day-by-day basis.
Exactly. You're accepting your situation because it was the situation of your parents before you and their parents before them. And the idea that a child who has gone through our organization in the past 16 years from kindergarten and living in the previously said situation can come out of a university and the parents, they don't understand to some extent why it's so important for the children to really do this.
That was going to be my next question. Do they understand the connection between giving the kids these tools so that they can come out of that situation?
Well, it's happening more and more that parents are understanding because there's so much success going on right now with Live and Learn in Kenya, with also with Feed a Smile and Second Life. In the beginning, and I think still for some parents of the very small children, the young children, it's a matter of the children are being fed every day. It's one less mouth to feed. And if you're earning maybe $1 a day, then we're talking about it being very difficult to feed a family of 6 children.
This comes in handy that I used to work for an NPR member station, because this is a fundraiser show and I'm actually enjoying it to tell listeners, as you're listening to this, go to the blog, as it's in Dutch and Joe would say, and click on the link to the Mad P Food Fair and go in world and buy something, because that benefits this cause. The umbrella organization is Live and Learn in Kenya. The Second Life subsidiary, if you will, is Feed a Smile, and you can help by buying stuff that you would buy anyways. Come on, let's be honest. And then you can go to shows as we go to air on the 25th, Two-Step Spirit Weaver and Bat Masters at 1 to 2 p.m. Freddie Murgatroyd from 7 to 8 p.m. 3 fabulous musicians.
Sorry. Also, if you donate into the black cauldrons that are spread all around the Sims, the 4 Sims, then that also goes directly to Feed a Smile.
This is really great for a communist like myself, who I just don't buy into this blanket consumerism. If it's in the physical world or the virtual world, I still wear the same flip-flops that I bought in 2009 in SL.
Let me say something about the flip-flops.
Oh, they have flip-flops?
Yeah, they have flip-flops. Actually, flip-flops are the #1 shoe for the poor people in Kenya. And what they're doing now is they are recycling flip-flops into animals, into really beautifully sculpted animals. And we are selling them from Live and Learn in Kenya also, but there's also going to be a couple of them as raffle prizes at the food fair.
So these are real physical items that the kids make?
No. The children don't make them. I'm sorry. Children don't make them. We don't believe in child labor.
You're better than Newt Gingrich. That's good to hear.
Yeah. No, they're being made by adults in Kenya and recycled. The flip-flops, most of them are being actually taken out of the water there, out of the lakes and I think it's a fantastic thing that if you've ever been to Kenya, then you know when you walk down the streets, they're full of trash, plastic trash especially. And so this is a fantastic thing. I really like to be able to support that in any way. It's environmental.
Let's remind folks again, how much does, if I were to donate $100 linden during a show, or $100 linden, it's just kind of this round number that I would put in the cauldron at the Mad P International Food Fair right now. How far would that go in terms of feeding them, or what does $100 linden buy?
Okay, $100 linden buys a meal for a child, a warm meal. That means a vegetable stew with rice or with ugali, which is a sort of polenta, and a glass of milk or a piece of fruit. But I have to say, during the food fair, all of the money that is being taken in at the food fair is to be used to build the kitchen in Kenya, the school kitchen. Our school kitchen blew apart just a few weeks ago. There was a bad storm, and it's just a shed, actually, more or less an outdoor shed. And it blew away. The fathers had to come and build it up again the best way possible so that the mamas could come and cook the next day. But we realized the absolute necessity of having a permanent building as a kitchen. It wasn't planned. We were planning on building another classroom because we still have 2 more classrooms that need to be built. But this is a necessity now, so we're very, very happy that Mad Peas and Canna writers behind us here and helping us to raise the funds for it.
Okay, the real-time counter is at almost close to 2 million Linden dollars right now, fixing the kitchen that was damaged. And then once the kitchen is done, you continue with the other classrooms. Folks, go in World right now, put money in the cauldron, or buy from any of these, I don't know, the Cube Republic, friend of mine. Go to Cube and buy something from him, or from, I don't know, any Apple Fall.
Go to Karg. I love Karg. And if you go to the lavender field for Few to Smile, you will see this beautiful sim that was completely built by Karg Designs. Keanu Karg and his partner, Selkie. And they did it, of course, all as a donation, which is really fantastic. And now they are selling their items at the food fair, and I pretty much think they are not going to just take 50%. They're going to be donating the entire amount.
I would actually think so, that probably most people after all this comes in, they go like, you know what, I cannot take the money. I'm just going to give it all to this cause. The food fair is going on until March the 4th. The big closing party in terms of performances is with Noise Pap. That's funny.
Yeah.
The Drax Files has become a Noise Pap marketing machine, I think. I'm mentioning him every week.
But he's worth it.
Noise is just absolutely amazing. And then Sam Quendra, also amazing musicians, really
Jack
great.
Slade is also.
Jack Slade is on the same day, on the last day. So you guys have time to go in World and donate. And please don't tell me, or please don't leave a comment on our show that says we have a lot of poverty in our respective home countries. Why would I help these kids? It's not a either or proposition, folks. It's not, when you donate to one cause doesn't mean you feel somebody else does not deserve to live or whatever. This is a marvelous cause that is a very a small real life nonprofit that's been working very hard, and Brick has been using Second Life in this innovative way. I'm gonna post some photos of the kids holding up these blackboards where they're writing a thank you note to the Second Life musicians, and sometimes there's a drawing of their avatar on that blackboard, on the chalkboard. Let me ask you this as we're running out of time, as always, because this is a short fundraiser show and Brick has to go soon. But I want to ask, how do the kids understand now? Do they understand this concept of a virtual world?
I think they're just understanding the fact that there are people out there who really care. And people who... Avatars are avatars in Second Life, but behind every avatar is a person, and it's a person who's caring and not the avatar. And this is what's important to the children. These are people who are helping them. And I'd like to say one more thing about the food fair and about the kitchen. Now, every year, when we build a classroom every year, for the past almost 4 years now, and every year when I go there to officially open the classroom, there's huge festivities and the children singing, and the chief is there and the government officials are there. And because my husband works for a very famous porcelain firm in Germany, this porcelain firm also makes a porcelain plaque with the names of the major donors. Now, of course, the major donor of the kitchen construction will be Mad Peas.
Oh my God!
Yes, and they already are. They have paid for, through these donations that have come in already. I can send you some pictures of that, and also videos that are being made every few days so that people can follow up exactly what's happening. But now, if you were to donate a huge amount of money, for example, 1 million lindens, or somewhere close to that, your name will be on that plaque forevermore. So it's not something that's just gone after, oh yeah, thanks a lot, with a pat on the back.
And that is manufactured by that very famous, very well-known German porcelain manufacturer, from which I also have some service from my grandmother. Is that what you're saying? You're appealing to my gigantic, universally huge, even bigger than the orange one's ego. Do I have the money? I have to look at my Linden Dollar account.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling to know you'll have pictures of this plaque, and anyone can join me, Drax, when I go to Kenya. Mm-hmm. I'm there every year in October, the end of October, the beginning of November, for 10 days. And I always take a group of people with me. The past few years has been extremely festive because we've been opening these classrooms. And now my own name is only on one plaque, and that was the opening of the school. That I opened the school with our project manager, Ken Branda. And Roosevelt Porcelain, I have to say to this company is extremely supportive in so many different ways, and so of course their name of the firm is also on the plaque every year. But if you would like to dedicate, it needn't be your own name, it needn't be your real name. It could be your Second Life name or your Second Life wife or child. Or
I only have one name. I am my own avatar. I am not a dualistic person, just like the children. I want to just say this, what you said about the children. I think this is amazing that they in some ways comprehend and transcend this weird problem that people here have with like, oh, what do you mean in Second Life? These people are not real. For the children, it's only the medium with which the people who want to do them well communicate and help them with. And at the other end of the line, just on a telephone or whatever it is another human being, and that's the connecting part of it. I find that really beautiful. So you're going there once a year. You have people managing it on the ground. We're running out of time. I want to say once again, go in-world. Look at the MADP website that we're linking to for the performance schedule. The food fair is until the 4th of March. And then, of course, Feed a Smile. The sim is not going anywhere. You do shows there.
At the Lavender Field. You
continue to do shows for Feed a Smile. The question I asked you when we did the profile, which is funny, your colleagues in the real world from Live and Learn in Kenya, have they changed their position on digital worlds, or are they still a bit skeptical? And there's a dog barking, which is nice.
One thing that I do want to add to this whole thing is everywhere in the world, at the moment, especially, we're having problems with refugees, with people who have to leave their homes because of the situations that they're in. At Live and Learn in Kenya, we're trying to fight against that in a way that we're able to give these children a reason to stay where they are and do what's necessary in their own countries. Having the confidence of a good education behind you gives you the possibility to stand up and say, no, not with us. And I think this is extremely important. We don't want to accept any form of dictation. And even if they call it a democracy is only a word if it's not used in the way that it's supposed to be used. And if the children or if the the people in any country, but I'm talking about Kenya right now, if they are held back in any way of becoming all that they can be.
This is really beautifully said, and this is a great note to end on. Let me just say, I guess what you're saying is, and this might be a crazy concept for some, that helping people rebuild their own country and be successful there by investing in children and education may actually be cheaper than building a wall or building barbed wire or investing in border guards who have automatic weapons.
Definitely. If you'd like a number as far as the dedication goes, if you'd like a number, anybody who donates at least $1,000 US dollars or the same in Linden's to one of the cauldrons. If you do so, if you're one of those wonderful people who have the money to be able to do so, then please contact me with the name that should be on the dedication plaque so that I know.
The name is Draxter, and the name is Draxter the Third. And also, as it was done in the 50s, the women didn't have their own names. They were the letters were addressed to Mrs. and then it was the name of the husband. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
Those were the good old days. Yeah, where white Christian middle-aged males were not prosecuted like they are today. All right. Thank you, Brick, and much success. And folks, go in world and donate right now and have fun at the concerts. Maybe I'll see you there. Time permitting, maybe I'll stream live some of those concerts. Go there. Yes. And have a fab weekend. Thank you, Brick, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Dear Kiana, Madby production staff, and all the generous people who are working towards the ambitious goal of raising $9,879,000 Linden dollars during the Madby International Food Fair for the Feed a Smile in order to fund the construction of the school kitchen at Live and Learn Education Center in Nakuru, Kenya. As the project manager and secretary of Live and Learn in Kenya International, it was a huge relief for me when Brick told me of this wonderful news. You are making this possible, and we are so sure that you will meet this goal. We have seen your determination in action in the past years. Thank you so much for standing behind the Feed a Smile to help make the world a better place for hundreds of children, most of whose meal of the day will come from the kitchen that you are providing for them. Asante sana, thank you so much, and God bless you.
Hello Kiana, Matt Pierre staff and all of you wonderful donors in Second Life. Let us thank you with a song from the Second Life singer Terlin Melody. Welcome. Golden ray of light I spy, cutting through the darkest night, and all at once I know that I can fly, and it's all because of you. Yes, you.
The Drax Files Radio Hour with Joe.